Okay, guys, it's time for an uncomfortable conversation about Titans in the Crucible. Now, I was gonna start this off how I'm sure most people who talk about nerfing things do and be like, oh, I've been a Titan main for 12 years. I know, like, no, okay. I currently do not like Titans, okay? I hate how they play in PvP. It's not that I think they're too strong. I mean, they are a little bit, but that's not really my main issue. It's that I think the play styles they promote are just super unhealthy for the game in its current state. So let's unpack that first before we talk about actual strength, because I think actual strength is easy to fix, but as far as promoting a more healthy playstyle, I think that's going to take a lot more work to sort of adjust. So basically, in the current state of the game, Titans really have two playstyles, both of which I think just put the game in a very unhealthy sort of meta. The first playstyle, this is what the top players do, is the extremely passive and slow stare at your wall with a sniper and an SMG playstyle. Like I said, the truly stacked like Trials Gremlin teams do this. They run triple Titan, just constantly stand behind their wall, and they will not peek you whatsoever. And then once the point comes up, they have 6 lightning grenades and they just wait to get a tag, and then they'll push you on the point and they'll just triple barricade up, right? This is what all the top teams do. I think it's extremely boring to play against, and honestly, that's what they rely on. Basically, they stand there and wait until really someone gets bored and makes a mistake on the other team, or just gets slightly out of position, or maybe they get hit by a grenade, or they throw a really good grenade, and then they just fly in with SMGs, which are really strong right now. Like, it's just so passive. I've played teams that will legit just barricade and slowly inch up to the point. It's like a cartoon, honestly. Like, legit, the screen will start to go black from the timer on the zone, and they'll just be slowly inching up like one shield at a time, and you just cannot break them fast enough, really, because if you spend too much time shooting the shield, you'll just get sniped. Like, these are good players we're talking about. Now, I'm not blaming people for doing this. This is the strongest playstyle right now. I just think this is super unhealthy for the game. It's very slow, very passive, and just very punishing for those who don't want to do the same thing back, really. If you don't want to play that slow and like that, like you have to be so careful. Like, one grenade tag from a lightning grenade could just be the whole round, really, against some of these teams. It's just super unhealthy, in my opinion. The other playstyle, which may even be more annoying, is just the straight lining, no brain Titan that just runs at you with a shotgun, right? Like, we all have seen these Titans. Many of us are these Titans. I like to think that I'm one of these Titans as well. But, like, they just take a hit of G Fuel or something, inhale a cran, and they just run at you. They let the game's horrible melee registration and knockout just take the wheel. I think this is equally as unhealthy for the game. It's two extreme playstyles that, I mean, honestly, they really don't take much effort, or there's no learning curve, really. There's no mechanical skill involved. Really no like movement skill either. There's just, it's not very hard to do. Now, I'm not saying all Titans are bad at the game or whatever. No. Like, some of the best players have been Titan mains forever, regardless of how strong they are. I just think the two main play styles for them are super unhealthy for the game as a whole. So like I said, that is my main concern, more so than the actual strength of them. It's really just that I think it's really unhealthy, but I do want to talk about the strength as well. I think it's pretty apparent by looking at some of the stats that they do still need some tuning. There have been several nerfs to them recently, but I think it's just not quite there. A few weeks ago, some stats came out and basically showed that Titans dominated in usage for the most successful Trials players. Basically, all the best players were on Titan. I mean, you can try to like explain this all you want, like, oh, the map, the whatever. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I know a lot of the best players and I just watch a lot of them play. They're going to be on Titan regardless of the map. Triple Titan for the top players is just, it is what it is right now. That's what you do. So there are a few things that I think it's honestly time to adjust. The first is barricades. This is the main thing that is causing all of the top players to spam this class. Until barricades are nuked from their current state, I mean nuked, like, I think another slight health adjustment is just not going to do it. I think something major does need to happen, because triple Titan will be the meta. It's not so much that one Titan is too much, it's that you can stack 3 of them. When there's 3 barricades, that's when it starts to get out of hand. I'm not saying that you need to balance the class around having 3, but I do think at this point it needs to be taken into account. either the health needs to get hit pretty good to where you can realistically shoot it out without having to like reload a couple times, or have your whole team coordinate shooting a shield. Like it's like we're playing Overwatch right now, honestly. Either the health needs to go, or maybe they need to stop doing damage to enemy players so you can go through them or something. I don't know what they want to decide on that, but I do think barricades are the main issue. The next issue is to Arc Titan specifically. That is the strongest class right now, is the Arc Titan. I'm sorry, but knockout should not heal and make your melee damage like cracked. It needs to be one or the other. It should either heal or up your damage, not both. I can't even tell you how many 1v3s I've both won and lost just because knockout gets going from a random melee and all of a sudden the Titan is just like a walking raid boss. Like the melee registration in this game is super bad. It cannot handle Arc Titans with knockout. Like there's how many times have you gone to like punch someone and it just whiffs and then the Titan just punches you and all of a sudden they're just walking around with 150 like rubber band melee like it's too much. Either one or the other. That way at least if you get them low and they have a bunch of damage, they won't just heal. I think it's the combination of healing and buffing the damage that just makes it way too crazy. I think it needs to be one or the other. I'm not really sure which one I prefer. I think I would rather get rid of the damage personally, because I think that's just too much. Because like I said, if the game could handle the melee registration, then maybe like you could keep both, but obviously we all know it can't. So I think it's time for the damage to go, but I'd be okay with just the healing, with the healing going as well. I mean, either one. The other thing that I think specifically applies to Arc Titan is the lightning grenades with the aspect. Okay, why does it give you 2 lightning grenades? That doesn't even make any sense. There's a whole exotic in the armamentarium. The entire function is to give you 2 grenades, but now you just get it for an aspect. And I would say like, oh, because that aspect buffs grenades, like that's the buff, you get 2. First of all, that doesn't really make sense, but it also makes them jolt. It already buffs the grenades. It makes them jolt. So I really don't understand why they felt the need to give you 2 and make it jolt. I think you should just get 1 and it can still jolt. Like the jolt is actually very strong. Yeah, I don't know why there's 2, because when you get 3 Titans again, that's 6 grenades. That's a lot. Like that's just too much. There's a lot of lightning. It jolts, like it's crazy. And if you look at all of the other grenades it buffs, it doesn't give you 2. If you look at the Solar Warlock, the aspect that buffs grenades, it's not giving you 2. Like it's just very weird. I don't know why it gives you 2. I would like to see it brought down to 1. And finally, the exotics. So the most popular are Peacekeepers. I actually think those are fine. I don't really think Peacekeepers need an adjustment. I actually really like them. I think they're fun. I think the issue is SMGs as a whole. I think SMGs are overtuned right now for sure. And I think Peacekeepers just kind of make that problem worse. But I think it's really SMGs that need to get hit, not Peacekeepers. I think Peacekeepers are fine. But Antaeus wards, nah, okay. What kind of design is Antaeus wards, where you slide and then the enemy can't hit you? In fact, you actually hit yourself for a few seconds? Like what? No, personally, I think they should just reflect everything except for bullets, like grenades, melees, supers, all that I think is actually kind of cool. I just think bullets, or at least like primary weapons, maybe, I don't know if you want to differentiate, like I'm okay with it reflecting snipers actually. I think that's fine too. But like when you're just in an SMG versus SMG and then they just slide at you in a straight line and it reflects half the bullets at you, so you just lose, like I don't know. I don't think that's a very good design. I don't think it's very healthy for the game. It's not really hard to do. It's not really fun to play against. I think it's bad design. So yeah, I think if it just deflected like abilities and things, I think it would be much better. But yeah, that's basically my take on Titans right now. I know a lot of Destiny players get super defensive and kind of heated when you talk about nerfing something they use, but I'm just keeping it real. I've been maining Titan pretty much exclusively in Trials the last few seasons. Yeah, the things I've done and seen are wild. Like, it's just time. I'm sorry. I do think they will get nerfed eventually. I hope it's not too much. I do think Titan can promote a more healthy playstyle with the correct changes, so that's what I would like to see. Like a good neutral game and semi-aggressive playstyle that's not just straight lining, I think would actually be great, especially from Arc Titan. I really like Arc Titan. I think it has a good spot where it could be like an aggressive but not like brain dead aggressive class. I think there's a good balance there. I really like Void Titan actually. Void Titan's one of my favorite subclasses. I think if barricades get hit properly, I actually think Void Titan is in a perfect spot. I really like Void Titan as a design. I don't mind the overshield nowadays now that it's been hit a little bit. Yeah, I think once the barricades get hit, I really like Void Titan overall. That might be where I go, but yeah, we'll see. With that, I am going to end the video here, so I appreciate those of you who stuck around until the end, but until next time, I am awake, and thanks for watching.